Welcome to Entrepreneurs International Network, where entrepreneurs learn, network, and grow. I'm Roger Killen, the organizer. Today, Ricky Shetty is going to help you build a loyal and engaged social media following. But first, let's get to know Ricky a little bit better at a personal level. Ricky, I got 3 questions for you, and none of them are rocket science. Ricky, what is one of your special talents?
So thank you so much, Roger, for having me on, and it's great to connect with everyone. One of my special talents is I'm multilingual. I'm born and raised in Vancouver, Canada, but my ethnic origin or my blood is Indian, so I speak Hindi. And because I'm born in Canada, raised there, English and French. I lived in Japan teaching English, so I picked up conversational Japanese from living in Tokyo and Osaka. And then now I'm actually here in the beautiful Philippines. So I speak Tagalog or Filipino, and I've traveled through South America for a year. So a little bit of conversational Spanish as well. So that's one of my hidden talents.
Good for you. Now, Ricky, we each have one life, and to each of us, it's pretty precious. What impact would you like to have with yours?
Great question, Roger. One of my big passions is actually something you might not expect, but it's fatherhood and marriage and family. And I've had a website called daddyblogger.com, which I'll be talking about during my speech. But it's been one of my big passions is the whole area of fatherhood. When you have broken fathers, you have broken marriages, then you have broken families, and you have a broken world. So I really want to build up strong men. And that's one of my big passions. Back in Vancouver, I used to run a men's group and a dad's group. So that's a big area that, billions of men, billions of fathers, and I want to make a little dent in helping as many of them I can.
Great. Very noble. Now, the final question I have for you is, when you're not working and you're not being a dad, what is your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby has been travel. As I alluded to, I speak all these languages and I lived around the world. I've been to 81 countries on 6 continents. And one of my goals is to see every country in the world. A little bit of trivia. I don't know how many people know how many countries there are. But according to the United Nations, there's 193 United Nations member states. So I've been to about half of them now. And of course, now in the pandemic, much harder to travel. But yeah, post-pandemic or when it gets a little bit safer to travel, I love to reach as many of the other ones as I can. I've been to most of Western Europe, most of East Asia and Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Oceania, every single country in South America and Central America, missing mostly in Africa now, and Eastern Europe and the Middle East. So that's one of my big passions, to see the world and also bring my kids along for the journey. My kids, by the time they hit 5, they'd actually been to 4 continents already. And my son had been to like 20 countries by the time he hit 1. So yeah, one of my big passions is family travel.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ricky. Now, participants, some messages for you. Please turn on your video. Ricky is going to get his energy from you. And yes, the you that energizes him most is you actually live on camera, as opposed to you in a black box with a name in the center. So please help him help you by coming on camera. Please stay muted and type your questions into the chat. I will batch them and pose them to Ricky during his talk. Rest assured, all your questions are going to get answered. Now, this workshop is being recorded and you'll be sent a link of the recording. It'll likely be tomorrow. Ricky, are you ready to knock our socks off?
I'm ready. Get ready to have your socks knocked off, everyone.
Then I'm going to remove the spotlight from me. And that way, remove spotlight. And that way you are in total control of the show. Ricky, take it away. It's all yours.
Okay. Thank you so much, Roger. And thank you so much for everyone who has joined from, I see there's a lot of people from across Canada, across the US, from the different time zones in Pacific, Eastern, Central. So thank you so much. I've known Roger for about 10 years. Personally, because we're both from Vancouver, and I was a speaker at several of his Vancouver business networks. So this is my first time speaking at his other group called the Entrepreneur International Network. So definitely a joy and a pleasure to connect with everyone here. So today's topic will be about building a loyal and engaged social media following. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of my backstory on how I've personally done it. that I've walked the talk, so to speak, or practice what I preach. And I'm going to give you some tangible insights on how you guys can also build up your own digital footprint or a social media presence and social media following, engage them, create loyalty, and turn those social media followers into paid customers. And I think everyone wants to do that. And it was great to hear all the intros, because we have so many different fields and domains of business, everything from bookkeeping to traveling to health and wellness. We have someone who's doing safes and vaults, life coaches, business coaches, fashion designers, so engineers, so many more. So great to connect with all the different people in all the different domains. So a little bit of a quick background about me. So as I mentioned during the interview there, I'm from Vancouver, Canada. My parents are both Indian and they immigrated there. I graduated at the University of British Columbia, degree in psychology. After that, I traveled around the world. I taught English in Japan, then traveled around as a backpacker, staying in hostels and couch surfing. Wherever there was a bed or a couch, I would sleep there, saving money, eating ramen noodles, doing that whole deal as you do when you finish university. Then I came back to Canada, married my wife. She's actually from the Philippines. We have 3 wonderful kids. And around the time of my first daughter being born, I was in a career transition. I'd worked in teaching, banking, and then I just got into entrepreneurship. I'd done the whole network marketing MLM thing. It didn't really work for me. So people were telling me when I got into business, like, follow your passion, follow your passion. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. So I was like, what am I really passionate about now? And it was really my kids, my daughter, like, because I was so passionate, because I had this little bundle of joy, and I was like so interested in my daughter, and I didn't really know what I was doing as a dad. So I basically started a blog, and it's called Daddy Blogger, and it started as daddyblogger.ca. CA is like the domain that we use in Canada. And then I went and bought the domain daddyblogger.com. And all I was doing at first is just blogging locally about different events, where to take your kids, like the aquarium or the zoo, reviewing the latest gadgets and toys for kids. And at first, it was just supposed to be for Vancouver, British Columbia, or Canada, the city, the province, and the country I'm from. And then when I looked at my the Google algorithms, where people are watching from or are tuning into my website from, visiting from, then I would see that people be joining from London, UK, Sydney, Australia, like Tokyo, Japan, like India, and then different parts of the US, of course, and different parts of Canada. So I was seeing that I was building up this big following, and it was to do with a few different things, which I'm going to talk about when we get into the strategies for you guys here. But it had to do with like what I was doing with like keywords and the topics that people were searching. When they were searching for topics in Google, they were searching it from like how to change diapers, or new toys, or Christmas gifts, or like safe car seats, or family cars. And I was writing about things that people were searching from, which really helped me to rank. And at first I wasn't making money, honestly. I was just blogging as a hobby. And then what ended up happening is that companies and sponsors started contacting me. They would do a Google search on daddy blogger or dad blogger or family blogger, and I would show up on usually the first page, first position, or high up there on Google. And then companies would start approaching me. First there was local companies, and then bigger companies started approaching me, like companies like Disney, Hewlett Packard, Ford, Lexus. And then like, it's an honor for Disney to contact me. I'm just like a dad living in a suburban home. And then Disney was contacting me saying, hey, can we send you our latest toys for you to review? Or can you review our new Disney on Ice, the Ice Capades? And then Ford and Lexus, they would fly me to different places just to review cars. And I'd be getting flown to like from Vancouver to Nashville and across Canada just to test drive cars and all that. So I started building up a big following, and then people were very curious. So I started teaching it. So now I've been teaching social media for the last 10 years, since about 2012 to now is 2022. And that's a little bit of a background how I built up my social media. So my social media is about, I would say, around 100,000 plus or minus combined. That's across Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, all the different social medias. And then I built up a big email following, a big social media following, a big YouTube following at about 7 million views. and recurring ad revenue on my YouTube channel as well. I built up a podcast to about 550 episodes, and yeah, highly ranked on Google, and I became expert in my field or niche. So that's what I want to teach you, just kind of like from my passion, how I turned my passion to profit. And if I could do it as a dad, I think you guys could do it in any and all fields. And we've heard all the different fields that you guys are passionate about. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of today. So how do you build up your own social media following, and how do you build them up to be both engaged and loyal? And I actually did have a PowerPoint, but it wasn't working. I actually spent 5 hours working on the PowerPoint, and then I couldn't get it to work here. So I'm just going to read it out, but you won't have a chance to see it. So basically,
before you start, could you explain why we are enjoying the pleasure of a rooster in the background?
yeah, so you can probably imagine the time difference, between Canada and the Philippines. So I don't know why the roosters are cockadoodle doing now, but you'll hear some. It's life in the tropics. Okay, you'll hear dogs barking, you'll hear motorbikes, you'll hear roosters. So that's the reason why you might hear a bit of background noise. So apologies in advance. I talk loud and I talk fast, so hopefully my loud talking will drown out any of the cockadoodle doing. Okay, and if you need me to repeat, Roger, just jump in there and say, please repeat the point, and I'll do that. I was a Toastmaster as well as Roger, and Roger would always say to me, Ricky, slow down. So even after so many years of Toastmasters, I still haven't learned fully. So I'll attempt to slow down and pause and breathe. Okay, so there's a 3-step strategy to build up your social media following. Okay, 3 steps. And this is for any and all businesses. So I use alliteration. It's basically making your business, marketing your business, and monetizing your business. Okay, so if you want to put in verbs, make your business, market your business, and monetize your business. So let me explain that. Basically, you're making your business is basically all about your branding, building your brand profile or your brand identity. That's your making step. Then your next step is your marketing step. So basically, that's your promotion, your advertising, your awareness building. And then finally is your monetizing, which is your sales strategy or basically your income generation plan. So we're going to go through that. How do you make a business? How do you market a business and monetize it? And we're going to concentrate on marketing and building up your following. But what I find with a lot of business owners, they'll focus on the marketing before really getting the branding right. And if you don't have good branding, it will affect your marketing. If you don't have good marketing, it will affect your monetizing. So it really has to start with the foundation. And the foundation of any and all business is branding. If you look at any famous business in the world, you can name. I've named some of them obviously already, like Disney, Ford, Lexus, McDonald's. Everyone knows the McDonald's here in the Philippines or in Canada or the US. The golden arches, the yellow one, right? I'm on an Apple device right now, as Apple, and we all know that. Even just by the logo, we all know the Nike the swoosh, without even the word, or if we just hear the slogan, just do it, or I'm loving it. We'll know where these come from because these are strong brands. And I know Entrepreneurs International Network, EIN, is focused mostly on solopreneurs or small business owners, but we can learn from big corporations. And as a blogger, I mean, I've been a blogger, entrepreneur, business owner with employees, and I've learned really from these big corporations, and I've taken their wisdom and applied it to my own business. And this is what I recommend everyone do as well. So let's get into how do you make a business and how do you build a strong brand? It's basically starting with first your vision. And there's a great book and a great TEDx talk. It's by Simon Sinek. It's called Start With Why. And it talks about the golden circle, and people don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. And I'll give you an example. So for example, Apple, I'll just throw this out there so it's a little bit more interactive. Does anyone know what the vision or the mission of Apple is? Apple, the famous company. Does anyone know? I don't mind a little bit of audience interaction. Feel free to unmute and say it if you know it. Okay, so no one's saying anything, and feel free to, by the way, put stuff in the chat box if I ask questions or unmute. I want it to be a little bit more interactive. Okay, so basically the mission and vision of Apple is to change the status quo. And that's really what Apple has done. If you look at Apple, way back, there was the Sony Walkmans, you know, those of us who were born in the 70s or 80s or earlier, Sony Walkmans. And Apple just created the iPod, and that changed the music industry. And then they created the iPhone, that changed the phone or the telecommunications industry. And then they created the tablet or the iPad, and that changed they created a new type of device, the tablet. And of course, Apple is one of the most biggest companies in the world. And really, people are willing to line up in the middle of the night to buy Apple device. You don't see that people buying Android or Windows or Samsung, because Apple has really built up what we're talking about today, loyal and engaged followers. So how do we build up loyal and engaged followers? Learn from a company like Apple, because, you know, like I wish I had people like, you know, sleeping on the side of the road with tents and like lawn chairs and like hot chocolates just to get the latest product that I'm selling. Well, Apple has definitely succeeded in that. And, you know, it really starts with their purpose to change the status quo. So with your companies, with your businesses, with what you're selling, what is your purpose? Start with the why. And it's really about you having your vision for the future. So that's the vision. It's future oriented. Your mission is really about the present. What are you doing in the now, right? So vision is what you see. Your mission is what you do. The vision is the why. The mission is the how. The vision is the purpose, and the mission is the method. So we've gone from vision to mission, and then the values. It's really about building up this foundational pillars, and that's really a lifetime thing. And what I recommend all business owners, start with first your personal vision, mission, values. And then from your personal vision, mission, values, you start with your family mission, vision, values. And then you go into your business mission, vision, values. And you got to think of your societal or community vision, mission, values. Like how do you want your life, your family, your business to impact society and to make it a better place? So that's the vision, mission, values in terms of branding. We heard earlier at the idea party about your avatar. So that's very important when you're building a business, your avatar. And I'll just give a few little tips here regarding your avatar. For those of you who don't know, it's not just a famous James Cameron movie, but it's also a business term, which means your ideal customer or your perfect client. Target market is more the general, and the ideal customer or the perfect client is the specific person that you're trying to reach. And I would definitely name that person, like, for example, Candy Wilson, right? That would be like an avatar, right? Okay, like what's her age, her gender, her nationality, her ethnicity, marital status, number of kids, her job, income level, socioeconomic status. Does she rent a house? Does she own a house? Does she have kids? If so, how many? Then you want to find out about it, maybe a political affiliation, religious affiliation. Is she a part of any clubs, organizations, associations? And really finding out about this avatar in terms of the demographics. Okay, I listed about like 15 of those demographics right there. Then also it's important to understand the psychographics of the person. That's basically how are they thinking, the psychographics. What is making them buy? What is influencing them? What is their buying style? Are they an impulsive buyer? Are they more methodological? Are they going to go to the store and just say, hey, I like and buy it? Or are they going to be looking at it? Are they going to be doing price shopping? Are they going to do some internet research? So you need to know how and why does your avatar buy? Maybe if they're married, their spouse is going to influence them, right? If they have to make a big decision, then they'll have to get, oh, honey, what do you think? Can I buy this thing, right? So very important to understand the avatar's psycho and demographics. And then the last part there's lots of stuff to do with branding, but one of the other parts of branding is to do figuring out your unique selling proposition. I like to call it the purple cow. There's a great book by Seth Godin, which talks about, we're living in a like other businesses, which is like black and white. So how do you differentiate yourself by creating the purple cow, which is your uniqueness, and what will differentiate you? Are you going to differentiate yourself on quality, on price, on this gentleman, he's talking about the toothbrush scraping. That's a very unique. That's already the USP, right? Very unique. What's your MVP, your minimal viable product? And then you've got to do your SWOT analysis, which is your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats, your competitive advantage, There's a lot more to do with branding, obviously, than I can do justice here. You got to figure out your tagline, your logo, obviously, your web domain name, your elevator pitch, your qualifying questions, all these kind of things. So that's overview of branding your company. And what the stronger your brand, again, that will influence your marketing. So now we're going to go from branding into marketing. So just to recap, first we start with the making. Now we're starting with the marketing, and then we're going to the monetizing. When we're talking about marketing your product or service, I'm going to go to 10 different marketing strategies, and these all majority are digitally based. Okay, so digitally based digital marketing or online marketing. The first and foremost is email marketing. There's a famous saying in the internet marketing world: the money is in the list. So build up your email list by you can give out something called a lead magnet. A lead magnet, for those you don't know, is on your website. You'll have a little box. You will say, sign up for email subscribers, sign up to my email list in return for something. It can be a book, it can be a PDF, it can be an audio file, a video file, it can be a series of videos, something that's of value that a customer is looking for. And it's usually to do with solving their problem. And you give something of high value, and then people are going to subscribe. So that's how you build up your email list. You can use tools such as Aweber, Constant Contact, Infusionsoft. There's a whole bunch of other ones. MailChimp, of course, is the famous free one, up to, I think, 2,000 emails. If you wanted to go for more sophisticated email marketing, you can use something like Aweber, GetResponse, Constant Contact, or really high-end would be Infusionsoft. So that's email marketing. Right now, the big tool that people are using nowadays to market themselves is, of course, social media. And we're going to go into more details about how to build up your social media. But in terms of the overview, you got your Facebook, which is the biggest social media platform in the world. You got Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. Daniel Fung, he's actually my friend from Vancouver. He was saying about he's targeting young adults. Well, if you're targeting young adults, if your young adults is part of your avatar, then where are you going to go? Obviously, Instagram. There are a lot of young adults on Instagram, and on TikTok, another big one. If you're targeting women, this is not gender biasing, it's just facts. More women are on Pinterest, okay? This is, if you look at the demographics who are on Pinterest, definitely by a long shot, it's women over men. So for me as a daddy blogger, I don't spend a lot of time on Pinterest because not many dads are hanging around on Pinterest. So for me, because I'm targeting dads, that's my avatar, my target market, I'm spending more time on Facebook or on LinkedIn and on Instagram. Those are my big three. So you have to look at all of your different social media. You have your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Pinterest, your TikTok, your Snapchat. Then those are kind of the big ones. Then you have the area of blogging. That's how I started in this whole digital marketing world. Blogging is basically the actual word blog. It's like two words put together, and it means like a written log or like a written article. So it's kind of like the newspaper of the 21st century. Okay, so you have your blogging. Those are your articles that you can write online, and you have your microblogging. Like a blog can be from 300 to 500 words to 1,000 words up. A microblog can be actually on your LinkedIn, or it can be on your Facebook as your Facebook status update on your newsfeed. That can be a microblog. You can also do it in your Instagram, or even on your like any of the different social medias like Pinterest. You can have a little microblog, which is not just a status update. A status update would be like 1 or 2 sentences. A microblog will be like maybe 50 words to 100 words, right? So you could do a little microblog as well. And nowadays we live in a day and age of attention ADD, or attention span deficit, right? So basically people are being distracted and bombarded by so many things and notification and all that, right? So a lot of people nowadays don't have a lot of time to read a big, long, lengthy blog post. And even if you do a lengthy blog post, make sure you put a lot of images on there or pictorial, just to give the brain a break, so they're not just reading text. Very hard nowadays for people to do that. So microblogging, and then podcasting. So that's basically an audio blog, right? So you have your written blog, which is blogging. You have your audio blog, which is podcasting. Then you have your video blog, which is like YouTube or Vimeo or Facebook Live, Instagram Live. And we can talk about strategies too in the Q&A if you want more strategies in terms of how to do lives. One of the key things about live is basically to create engagement right away. You got to shout out people. Like when I mentioned, for example, Marnie, like, hey, Marnie, thanks so much for joining my live here. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Tanya, for joining. How are you doing over there? Tony, how are you doing, Dan? How are you doing, Matt? How are you doing, John? So when I'm doing my Facebook Live and I'm mentioning the people, automatically they start to tune in, right? Even now you could see that some of the people I mentioned, they were maybe looking down or they were doing something else. But when I mentioned them, they automatically, because it's like their favorite sound that everyone loves to hear, their own name, right? So very important when you start your lives is mention people's names as soon as possible and mention them throughout if you can, because it helps people stay engaged, stay alert, and feeling like you're talking to them. So thank you, like Susan and Suresh and Tracy, for joining even on this particular meetup, Zoom call. Okay, so those are like some video strategies for live. Of course, you need to have a website if possible. And once you do a website, make sure you don't just hire someone saying, hey, I just want a pretty website or a beautiful website. Or I just want 5 tabs. I want a homepage, about page. I want a products and service page and a contact page. This is what most business owners do. They're like, hey, I'll find the best designer to do this. And then what ends up happening is you have a really beautiful website and it's aesthetically pleasing and is visually stimulating. But there's one problem. A lot of websites aren't built from a marketing perspective. They're not built in terms of conversions. Very important to build a website based on like, what is the call to action? That's called the CTA. So the website, I mean, you can kind of analyze your own websites. If I had more chance, what I do when I do like a one-day workshop, for example, I'll pull up a whole bunch of websites and I will actually analyze them. Me and like whoever's in the workshop will look at the website and we'll say, who can identify the call to action right away? And if you can't identify in like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you're gonna lose that person quickly because it's called a bounce rate. When people go to a website and then they look at it, and if they don't see anything that's really relevant for them or their needs, if the lead magnet or like the email opt-in isn't really appealing, if it doesn't really explain right away on the homepage why the website exists or what the website can do for their needs or their problem and how it can solve their problem, then people are going to bounce. That means they're going to leave. So very important that you have a call to action on your website and build it from a marketing perspective. So once you hire someone for a website, you should actually ask them like if they have any marketing experience, because I've just found so many cases where website designers aren't marketers and therefore they just build visually aesthetic websites, but they don't do the job for the client, because the client's job is basically to use the website to convert, right? That's why we're not just spending $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000 in a pretty website. We wanted the ROI, right? The return on investment. We want to turn that $1,000. Thank you, Kathy, for saying I'm right. Yeah, you want to turn that $1,000 that you invested into the website into actual paid cash or paid clients, right? So another key element when you're building a website is build it up with search engine optimization, SEO. In short, search engine optimization. That basically means your Google ranking. Where is your website ranking now in Google, and where do you want it to rank? And a few tips on how to build up your website ranking or your Google ranking. You have both the on-page elements and then you have off-page. So on-page is definitely content is king. That's one of the famous sayings in digital marketing as well. Content is king and context is queen. Content's king, context is queen. So very important to have quality content. That's unarguable. Basically, you need to have quality content. Also, what's really important to build up your search engine optimization or your SEO is having strong backlinks or hyperlinks. And it's not you as the owner of the website linking out, but it's really other influential websites linking in. So the way you can do that is by doing guest blog posting or guest article writing on your domain or area of expertise. So we had a whole bunch of people who are doing, for example, health and wellness. Some people are doing real estate or mortgages or any field you're in. if you can write about the article from on another website, like let's say, for example, Huffington Post is a famous one, or if you can write in a digital newspaper and then link from that digital newspaper into your website, that's creating domain authority links into your site. And you want to have quality content, plus you want to have different links coming in, right, from different directions, all going back to your website. So that's helping Google rank your site higher. And also, so there's another key element, which is the keywords. So what are your keywords? And it shouldn't just be so general that everyone else is using it. So pick specific keywords or key phrases around your area or niche. The riches are in the niches, they say. So figure out your niche and then figure out the hashtags for that niche. The hashtags can be general ones that are geographically based, or the business or the product based, but also like unique to the business, like the business name, like the Entrepreneur International Network hashtag, or Marnie's Bookkeeping hashtag, or Can Kita, right? Can Kita is a great one, right? Like these kind of unique hashtags. Like before today, I'd never even heard of Can Kita. So thank you, my friend Mike, for informing me of the concept Can Kita. I always was following the Ikigai, which is your purpose. And, when I was talking about earlier, like the purpose is the Ikigai. And today I learned about Can Kita. So thank you. So,
Ricky, there's a question from Diane. I have a I have a website, and somebody else, I guess, handles social media posts for me, but there is no engagement. What are the first steps I should take to carry that effort further to work for me? I think Diane is really saying, how do I get more engagement from my social media traffic?
Awesome. Just stay tuned for that. That's a little teaser of what's about to come up. Okay. I just want to, I don't want to interrupt the pattern here, but because we're going to go into like how to create engagement in a few minutes here. So I'll answer that question from Dan there. So just stay tuned for that. I just want to finish these kind of things where we're talking about marketing, the digital marketing. So email marketing, social media marketing, blogging, podcasting, video marketing, website marketing, search engine optimization marketing. Even what we're doing here today is actually marketing, right? What Roger was doing at the beginning, he was getting everyone to introduce themselves and answer the 5 questions. Well, what is that? That's marketing. And out of these meetings, like these meetups or these Zoom calls, are going to be births. Client acquisition, maybe business partnerships. So make sure you like for me, even when I was actually taking notes, right? Like I was taking notes on all the different people's names and the different occupations, the different countries from they're in. And I would say out of a networking event like this, let's see how many people. We're 27 people, right? So if you can make at least 1 or 2 solid connections, and the fortune's in the follow up, as they say. People will get really excited and write stuff down, but then they won't follow up. So very important. People have actually wrote in the chat their emails, their websites, their phone numbers, their WhatsApp, etc. Right? So if you can copy that down either with a pen and paper, or type it or copy and paste it into your phone or your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, and then follow up, right? And the sooner the better. Because even with business cards, when you go to a traditional business event, you get all these business cards, but a lot of these business cards just end up in a shoebox and they don't get used, right? So very important. Follow up, networking. So public speaking, like even what I'm doing now is a type of marketing, right? Like Roger's not paying me anything and I'm not expecting to be paid, but it's just like marketing, who I am, what I do, and the right people will want to work with me. So get yourself in front of Roger's crowd, ask Roger, saying, hey, Roger, I really like the group, or when can you book me in? And Roger will say, there's a 3-month waiting list, which there is, right? So I think you'll be booked in probably sometime in August or something like that, right? So just ask Roger, and I'm sure if it's a good fit, he'll plug you in. And if Roger's well established, so he has a big following, but maybe you might want to approach like a newer meetup organizer. And I've run meetups, by the way, for about 10 years from Vancouver. And when I was just starting the meetups, I was always looking for speakers. So I was so glad when people actually asked me. I wouldn't be going hunting down speakers. People would ask me, right? So very important to ask to speak, because a lot of especially newer, or like, if they're not as experienced in meetup organizing or Zoom organizing, they'll be looking for speakers. Other few ways of marketing is book publishing on things like Amazon or Kindle. Getting into the media or press, we had a lady earlier, she mentioned, just getting a little spot ended up closing a lot of different clients for her business. And that's basically free marketing, right? Media, press, just have a very compelling story and a very, like, if it's relevant to current events or current news, or if it's niche, like I mentioned with fatherhood, or when I did Daddy Blogger, the news outlets, like, because I was in Canada, it would be like CTV or CBC or National Post or Globe and Mail. They would often reach out to me when they wanted opinion about fatherhood on some current topic, like, oh, what do you think of paternal leave, or what do you think of like a new product being launched, or how do vaccines, what do you think as a dad about vaccines? And I'm not going to go there, but like the news is always interested in unique niches and unique stories. Okay, so free advertising. Never turn down free advertising. And then the other area obviously is paid advertising. Using things like Facebook ads, using Google ads, even YouTube. When you have YouTube videos, you always have like usually you have like a buffer video, if you want to call it that, at the beginning. So those are paid. People are paying YouTube to show that little intro clip before the actual video that you want to watch. Alrighty, so those are different ways of digital marketing. I want to go into like how you can build up the following and create engagement. So so the first thing I would say is figure out where your avatar is. Okay, that's the first step when it comes to building up your following in your engagement, because you don't want to, like, for those of you who are like solopreneurs, you don't have a lot of time, and you're wearing the multiple hats, right? You're wearing the hat of the brand strategist, then you're wearing the marketing planning hat, then you're planning the sales forecast for quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Then you're also going out and hustling and looking for the clients yourself, right? So because I'm also solopreneur, we don't have a lot of time on our hands just to be like posting on every single social media platform. And when I first started, that's what I was doing. I was actually posting on all the different social media platforms, and then I started realizing, why am I just posting on all these social media platforms when they're not actually leading into actual engagement and conversion? So the first suggestion I would say is really determine where your avatar is hanging out. And we mentioned, like a visual, if you're in a business that's more visual, like a wedding industry or travel, that would be definitely on Instagram or Pinterest, right? Like video, obviously video-based social media platforms are like Instagram, a lot of videos on there, TikTok, a lot of videos on there, YouTube is a given, and then Facebook, right? Facebook is really dominating on video nowadays with Facebook Live and Facebook videos, and they even ranking Facebook Lives is higher in the Facebook algorithms, right? So how do you get more engagement? To answer the question earlier, as you start doing more lives, and you kind of gaming the system in a way, because you're seeing, okay, you can kind of study what Facebook's doing, because when you go onto Facebook, if you just look at the newsfeed, you'll see, Facebook keeps notifying you, your friend, Mike, or Jan and Janine, or Tanya, they're live, right? So Facebook is notifying you when your friends are live. So guess what's going to happen when you're live? What's going to happen? All your friends will get notified that you're live, right? So if you can do at least a live per week, and people ask me about posting frequency and posting times and those kind of questions. Basically, my kind of 2 cents there is the more frequent, the better, and the more consistent, the better. Okay, so just to repeat, the more frequent you are at posting, that's better. And the more consistent you are at posting, that's better. And this applies to everything, like for social media postings, to blog postings, to email marketing postings, right? You don't want to be just starting your business, getting so excited, right? Like 10 blog posts. And then you see the blog posts are like from 2009 or 2018 or 2019. You want to be consistent. If you can, write 1 blog post a week, right? And if you haven't written a blog post in a while and your blog is outdated, then maybe it's time to catch up and make that a daily discipline. Put in your actual calendar saying, I'm going to allocate 2 hours a week towards blog posting. And that's a very efficient use of your time, because again, content's king. You can use that blog post and multi-purpose it, right? Basically, so you're going to turn the blog post into social media content, repurposing, they call it that. You can actually turn that into a podcast or into a video clip, or into even social media graphics. You can have a little graphic and have a quote by you, etc., right? Yes, consistent content. Yes, that's what Matt said. Consistency and frequency is what I was saying. And one of the key elements of getting more engagement is value first, right? You're not selling first. People hate to be sold to, right? But they love to buy. So you're just adding value, right? And the more value add, the people will be interested. If you're just adding value through your Facebook Lives, through your social media posts, through your email list, people are going to be curious on what this guy knows his stuff, or this lady knows her stuff. And they're going to be like, okay, I like so much of what I heard on the Facebook Live. I wonder what else she has. And then you don't do the selling even then, right? You just share content, value. And then you link, it's called your sales funnel, right? You want to go from free and then link them into like opting into your email list. And then once they get onto your email list, that's when you can do more of the selling, right? So add free value, and then do your lead magnet, which is your email opt-in. And then once they're on your email list, and you'll see this with the professional marketers, right? Somehow you'll end up on the email list. You're like, how did I even get on the email list? And then you'll see it. And then unless it's a really boring email list, you're not going to opt out. Like, again, this is good quality content and consistent content, right? So probably the reason you've ended up on someone's email list because they've added something of value. You might have seen one of their Facebook Lives, you might have watched one of the YouTube videos, and they might have offered something for free, right? They might have said, hey, sign up, put your email here for something free, and then now you're on the email list. And then you can see that they're trying to, after they add value, then they'll sell you something, right? And then when you're doing like free, I mean, everyone loves the word free, right? So if you're giving away something for free, that's another value add, right? Like, I mean, they call it the ethical bribe. I don't like that word, ethical bribe, but I like more like the lead magnet. It's a magnet, right? And a magnet draws people to itself. And the other tip I would say in terms of really building up your engagement is connect personally. So when you see like a friend request from someone on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, right? Then you can actually not just say, okay, accept the connection or accept the friend request or accept the invitation, but actually get to know that person and find out, oh, I see that you added me as a friend. Tell me more about yourself, right? Simple question like that. And I guarantee you, most of the time when you ask that question, like they've added you for a reason. Either they've seen that you have mutual friends, they like your profile picture, or they like your business name, they like what they've seen, or when they looked at your profile on LinkedIn, maybe they've done a search on a certain topic and they found you. Maybe they've looked at a hashtag and they found you there, right? So these are all kind of tools and techniques for people to connect with you. And once they connect with you, then you take the initiative and connect personally with them, right? So. And when you're adding people as a friend or as a LinkedIn connection, also you can also add value by finding out about. So don't have this hidden motive like I'm only in it to sell them something, but really you want to add value. And this is from a place of genuine. You genuinely want to help them. And if you just start with there, like just I want to help that person with whatever they need. And if you help them, you scratch my back, they're gonna of course help you. And there's a famous saying in business, the KLT factor, the know, like, and trust factor. People do business with what? People they know, they like, they trust. So when you're building the connection, and you don't even need to do coffee dates anymore, right? Because now we're living in the day and age of the pandemic, where people are afraid to go to coffees and they don't want to wear a face mask. So the beautiful thing we have now is these Zooms, and you can do a Zoom one-on-one date, right? One-on-one date, a business date, business coffee connection, a virtual coffee, if you want to call it that. You can say, hey, John, would you like to do a virtual coffee? And John probably has lots of free time because now we're in a pandemic, we're spending a lot of time at home. So he doesn't have to drive in traffic, find parking, pay for parking. He can be drinking the coffee he's drinking right now and save money on that expensive latte, right? See, I see him nodding his head there. So if I asked, even now I'm saying, hey, John, we'd like to have a virtual coffee date. And he's saying yes, right? Because there's no hidden agenda. I really want to know, what does John do? How can I add value to him? How can I help him out, right? So I really recommend doing those kind of like one-on-one virtual coffee dates.
Ricky, a question about content. How much off-topic content, for example, humor, human interest, pets, etc., should we post? I have heard that people like stories and variety.
Yes, great question there. One of the gentlemen earlier, he mentioned the three E's, right? Like educate, entertain. What I would say is I wouldn't call that off content. It would still be like you can still do humor, you can still do entertainment, but I wouldn't say that it's just random or willy-nilly, but connect the humor to actually your industry, right? So if it's health and wellness, like a lot of people here, make jokes around that. Or I know you're quick on the ball there when you said your secret safe or something when the person was introducing safes and vaults, right? So if you can add the humor or the entertainment to the actual area, it's not just random. It's not just like you're posting about a certain topic, and then it's not just like a random, unconnected humor. So I would definitely say yes. I would say yes, add humor. Yes, add entertainment, but also make sure that's connected to the niche. So it should be a niche-based humor, if you get what I mean.
Thank you, Ricky. And FYI, you've 12 minutes to go.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Another strategy I was going to mention here is you might want to actually consider outsourcing because, again, a lot of people don't have time as entrepreneurs and they're wearing all these hats, right? So I'm here in the Philippines, and this is something I really adopted since coming here, because when I was in Canada, I had so many fears about, okay, will this person speak English? Will they screw up business? Will they be able to do quality? You know, a lot of us who are entrepreneurs, we're perfectionists, we're control freaks. We want everything done our way. I started letting go of that perfectionism and that control freakness, and I started outsourcing, especially because I'm here in the Philippines, and that's really helped my business a lot. Because when I outsource, I actually find people that are way better than me. So, for example, like I know basic video editing. Okay, I can use iMovie. I can edit basic, very basic level. Or I can do basic graphic design on Canva. Canva is a graphic design tool, or Photoshop, right? But I'm not an expert. So instead of me spending all this time trying to figure out graphic design or trying to figure out video editing or podcast editing, I can basically hire someone. And here in the Philippines, it's very affordable. You know, a lot of virtual assistants that work for like $5 an hour, starting point like $5 an hour. And it depends on the skill set. Some virtual assistants will work for even like $3 an hour. And this, I feel that's kind of criminal in a way to pay someone that little, even though people are willing to do it. So I would say at the bare minimum, pay virtual assistants $5 and above. And you have the website called Fiverr.com or Upwork. And, you know, if you want to reach out to me, I have my own team of virtual assistants who have qualified, who I work with, who have sent them leads across the world. And I've sent these virtual assistants work in Canada, the US, United Kingdom, and I haven't got complaints about their work. So if you want virtual assistants, I'm happy to do that for you. And it's not really for me to make money, it's to help provide employment to a lot of the people here in the Philippines. It is a third world country, and they also do their hard work. If you know a Filipino, you'll know that they're hardworking. And I married one, so I know she's definitely hardworking. Yes, I see people give me a thumbs up that. So yeah, just to reach out to me, we'll put my email at the end there. So that's another way to basically help build up your following engagement, because if you don't have the time to post regularly, they can actually pull stuff from your website. If you have your website, if you have blogs, then they can actually just pull your own stuff and they can turn that into graphics and they can post that for you. And then that will save you time. And if you're interested in like maybe launching a podcast or having videos edited, that kind of thing, okay? So we've covered quite a lot of areas in terms of branding and marketing. I just want to drill through a quick like 10 ways that you can MMO, which is make money online. So once you build up your branding, then you build up your following. These are some ways you can actually generate multiple streams of income through whatever business you're in, okay? So whatever your business you're doing, if it's health and wellness, you have products and services to sell, but you can also make money in these 10 ways, okay? So you can do public speaking around that area. You can do like basic paid public speaking, either in person at an event, at a seminar, at a workshop, at a conference, at a summit, or you can actually do it free, like you're speaking for free, but then you're platform selling. Basically, that means you're speaking it for free, but you might have a little sales pitch at the end or something to offer at the end, right? So that's a way that you can make money. But also, if you're organizing your own events, then you can charge admission or even a Zoom, right? You can actually charge admissions for it. You wouldn't call it like a paid Zoom, but you'd call it like a paid virtual summit or a paid conference, and then or a paid workshop, right? And it can be still done using this technology of Zoom or Google Meet, right? Also, I would recommend really turning whatever content you have into online course. I personally use Udemy. I have about 15 courses on Udemy, and it's passive income. There's a different, what do you call it, online course platforms, such as like Kajabi or Thinkific, Coursera, Skillshare. There's like, at least 10, 20 different ones. But Udemy is kind of like the biggest or the most famous one. And the reason I like it is because basically Udemy does the marketing for you. If you have your own course and you're doing it on like Thinkific or Kajabi, it's up to you to market it, right? But for me, what I do is I create courses, I put them in Udemy, and I basically forget all about it. I put them on Udemy, and every month I'm seeing that they're actually selling. And I have courses on like 15 different courses, and they're mostly on digital marketing. So I have a course like social media mastery, I have a YouTube mastery, I have a podcast mastery, I have a public speaking mastery one, I have a book writing one, branding one. So I have quite a lot on Udemy. So I would recommend, whatever industry you're in, speak on the topic, create a course around the topic, write a book around the topic, right? Because when you write a book, you become a subject matter expert. And especially if you write a book and it becomes an Amazon best-selling book, which is actually quite easy. You just have to get this a little gaming the system, if you want to call it that, but you get as many people as possible to buy the book within a short time period. So for example, if your book launch is on Sunday, May 1st, okay? So Sunday, May 1st, you get everyone to buy the book at like 9 a.m. And then the more people buy the book at the time slot, it's quite easy to become a best-selling author, because basically you're selling the most number of books in that category. So it could be like a niche category, like self-improvement is quite general. But if it's like for example, like fatherhood, or when I've done it with parenting, that's more niche. And I've been able to, I have like 7 Amazon best-selling books now. You can look all this up later if you want. Just look up my name on Udemy or Amazon or Kindle. Another way, obviously, to generate income is doing blogging, podcasting, and getting sponsors, right? So getting sponsors for your podcast, or again, you're selling whatever you're selling on your podcast or through your blog or vlogging. You can actually generate income just through getting YouTube ad revenue. So you create a YouTube channel, and just, again, it's passive income, because the YouTube ads keep running. When people are watching your videos, you're getting passive income every month from YouTube. Of course, whatever area you're in, if you do coaching and consulting on that area, again, that's a great way to generate more income. If you're so passionate about it and you love to work with people, especially on a one-on-one basis, then coach on it. And if you don't like to do the one-on-one thing, then you can do a small group, or as one of the ladies mentioned earlier, you can do a mastermind on it. And, if you want to learn more about the concept, look up Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. They talk about the mastermind, which is basically the collective intelligence of everyone in the small group. Also, if you can do e-commerce, you can basically sell whatever you're selling online, right? You might be selling it physically in person, but you can also sell it digitally on things like Amazon, Fulfillment by Amazon, or Alibaba, or eBay. The other way I would say is you can actually use affiliate marketing. Those are basically your joint venture partners. Basically, you're asking someone, hey, would you help me market my product? In return for you marketing my product, I'll give you a commission. It could be 5%, 10%, 20%. If it's a digital product, you can do even a much higher commission. You could say like 50%, whatever. Like if it's an online course, you say, please market this online course for me. Hey, Tony, do you mind marketing my, yeah, he's there, smiling away there. Tony, would you like to market my course? I'll give you 50% just for putting out there on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, sending out to your email list. And it's very easy for him to do that. He would just, and I would give him the actual sales copy. I would say, here you go, just plug in, maybe change a few things, tweak a few things, and send this to your list. And then he would be getting 50% whenever someone buys something. So that's almost too good to be true. You're getting free money just by posting stuff, and you're not even creating the content for it. So that's the whole area of affiliate marketing or joint ventures. And you can use like ClickBank or Commission Junction, CJ, etc. So I've talked a lot, and I know I speak a mile a minute. So I've covered a lot to do in terms of branding your business and then marketing your business, a lot of different social media strategies to build up engagement, a few different ideas so that you can actually generate more income no matter what your business is in. So I'm going to leave a few minutes here for any kind of pressing questions. Roger, if you want to field them for me.
Yeah, so I'm going to lead off. Ricky, everyone on the call is North American except you.
I'm also North American from Canada, but yes, I'm in the Philippines. Yes.
Is it appealing for us to retain your services as a social media strategist, and then have you help us with the implementation of that strategy by recruiting a local team of Philippine experts? Please comment.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that question. Yeah, definitely recommend working with someone like myself who is like, I have the experience as the actual social media strategist or the digital marketer. Because if you just hire someone directly, like just you go to Fiverr or Upwork or one of those sites, or if I recommend you some virtual assistants, if you just say, hey, do this and this and this with no strategy, it's basically like a person going on a trip without a map, right? So the strategist is the one that creates the map or the blueprint, and then the social media team or the virtual assistant team is the one that executes it, right? So as a business owner, usually I find that business owners, they're really skilled at their passion, but their passion isn't necessarily marketing, right? So you got your passion, then you need different people, right? You need, like, ideally you have a team of experts. Yeah, I mean, this is what the gurus do, right? Like if you think of like gurus like Simon Sinek or Brendon Burchard or Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins isn't building his own website. He's not doing his own social media. That would be a waste of his time, right? So he has experts who do the social media. He's experts who do the website, experts who do the video editing. So on a small scale, as a small business owner, that's why I recommend doing it outsourcing, because then you're doing it at a price you can afford, right? Like, and I mentioned the prices, like $5 to $10, like $5 for low end, like someone who's unskilled. And then if they're like high skilled, they're going to charge higher because they're more experienced, and they'll have much more niche skills. Like some people are just e-commerce experts. So if you're going to hire e-commerce expert virtual assistant, they're going to charge a lot more than someone who just does data entry or email support, right? Okay, I see. I hopefully have answered that question there. I see more questions. Let's hear from my friend here, Kankita. Mike, I see his hand raised.
Yeah, actually, I just want to comment that one of the groups I belong to, the gentleman has built his whole business on virtual assistants from the Philippines. His sales force, the people who contact his first line people contacting the public are all Filipino. The woman was when she contacted me, she was incredibly professional. She didn't come across like somebody who was retained by him. She came across as a vital part of his organization. So I am astounded at the professionalism and the ability to engage these folks in your business. So I hear what you're saying. I'm not doing it yet myself, but it certainly is on my plate. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for also affirming that. I didn't pay him to say that. He just said that of his goodness, it's hard at his own experience. So yeah, definitely I can validate that too. Okay, we see Tony with his hand raised. Tony, do you wanna ask the question?
I was hoping for a few more suggestions on the affiliate marketing or joint ventures. You'd mentioned Commission Junction is one possible source. Any others you might be able to recommend off the top of your head?
Yeah, ClickBank, clickbank.com, and then cj.com. Those are the two big ones. And I would say also asking your own social media network. Whenever I've launched something, I've just asked for help. I said, hey, I'm going to be like my book, for example. I'll say, hey, I'm launching my book. Would you guys like to market it? And I build up my own virtual, team, my affiliate marketing team, just from my own network. even from like these kind of meetups, that would be another a great way. And then if you can create like an actual joint venture partnership where basically you're cross promoting each other's businesses, and especially it works really well if you have businesses in a similar niche. And it's not just random, right? You don't be just promoting random stuff. You're a network that isn't just slim stuff, but if you can network on Facebook and LinkedIn, LinkedIn obviously is a great place as well, right? You can post it in your on your newsfeed in LinkedIn and just say, hey, I'm looking for more people to promote this product. Does this appeal to you? And then the right people will reach out. So hopefully that helps. Okay,
Yes,
any more questions here? Yeah, no worries at all.
No further questions, Ricky, and we're past the top of the hour. So on behalf of EIN, allow me to thank you hugely. Under these challenging technical circumstances, you did a great job. You rose to the occasion, you gave us great value. And for that, on behalf of all of us, plus the people who will be seeing your workshop on video, I thank you hugely.
Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Terima kasih. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Yeah.